Welcome, this is Miss P, and today we're going to look at measures of spread, which is range, variance, and standard deviation. So when we talk about measures of spread, we're talking about, are our data points really close together, or are they really far apart? And these are just some numbers that are going to help us decide which is which. So range, you've probably done a lot. It's when you take the maximum point and subtract the minimum point. Variance, you are going to see S squared. And standard deviation, you're either going to see an S or you're going to see this. This is the Greek letter sigma. To me, it kind of looks like a whistle, like a gym teacher's whistle or something, or a little hand pointing that way, but it's the Greek letter sigma. Sigma. All right, so let's look at it. So measures of spread show how spread apart the data points are. So to find the range, you subtract the maximum, and then minus the minimum. So here we have our nurses again, their salaries, and we want to find the range of their salaries. So we're going to find the biggest, which is right here, and the smallest, which, just kind of happens to be next to it. Look at that, what a coincidence. You're going to subtract them, and I did it for you. You're going to get $27,500. So this nurse makes $27,500 more than this nurse. I guess this nurse has been working a lot longer. So basic range there. We probably did that a whole lot in maybe middle school or Algebra 1, geometry, something like that. Next we have variance, which is probably new to you. It's possible to do it by hand, but we're not going to do it by hand. We're going to let the calculator do it for us. And the average squared distance, you can think of it as, if you take the average distance from each data point to the mean and square the number, that's your variance. And then we have our standard deviation. And oh my gosh, I hope this did not happen to your copy. Bad copier. Bad copier. So what it says is the average distance from each point to the mean. So basically it tells you on average how far apart each of these salaries is from the mean that we found a couple of notes ago. Now again, you can figure this out by hand. We're not gonna, we're gonna let the calculator do it for us. And the steps are the same as before from when we did mean, median, and mode. You want to start a new document. And tell it you don't know, I don't need what was there before. Label your column. I'm going to call it N for nurses. And I'll meet you right back here when I've got my data entered. And I'm going to do the same thing I did when I was finding mean and median. I'm going to press Menu, Statistics, Stat Calculations, One Variable Statistics. We have one list. Then make sure you choose N as your list. And I'm just going to spit out all this data for you. Now, here's the mean. We do that right now, but there's the mean we had from before. Now, when you go down here, there's going to be two different numbers that are a standard deviation. You're going to have the SX, which again, wow, bad copier, we can't even see that. So it's listed as SX equals. So that's the standard deviation for our actual 6 nurses. So this is just our 6 nurses. So that's just the data for our 6 nurses. Now population standard deviation, that's this one right here. Population standard deviation, that's that letter sigma that we saw earlier. That is an estimate of the whole population, so all nurses. So it's an estimate of the standard deviation for all nurses in the US or in Texas or whatever we happen to be talking about. And we're going to be using both of those in this class. So our sample standard deviation is right here, $9,494.21. So I'm going to list that here for the sample standard deviation. And then our population standard deviation is sigma, which is right below that in the calculator, right there. So $8,666.99. So what this is saying is that if we look at the whole country or the whole state, or again, whatever our population is, the salaries tend to be a little closer together than they are for these 6 nurses. And we'll be doing more with that and more talking about what these numbers mean in class. And thank you for watching.